The process of making 3D printed cosplay armor is one that takes a lot of time and patience. You've got your printing, sanding, filling, masking, painting, and weathering. But what if a new printer on the market and a little bit of ingenuity could change that forever? Don't actually know where that went. Now that's where our friends at Bambu Lab come in. They just sent us this new incredible printer, the H2C. Now you might have already seen our review of the H2S, and unfortunately, our H2D review video got sent to the Shadow Realm, so. But this isn't just a review, it's more of a challenge. Can we finish a helmet to our standards by skipping a lot of those methods that I talked about earlier by printing the helmet in full color? Now, what this printer has that the other H2 series don't have is the Vortex nozzle switching system. That's gonna allow us to load up a ton of different colors, filament materials, so we can print the helmet in full color while really reducing the amount of filament waste, purging, and time that it takes on a normal printer. Now the H2C doesn't stop there. It's actually got a brand new section of its menu system which helps sync all of your filament options to the nozzles of your choice. Now it does take around 40 seconds to stop printing, switch nozzles, purge, and restart. But in terms of multicolor printing, I feel like it's way ahead of its predecessors. But don't worry, we've got some insane statistics as well we're gonna show you later in the video. And Bambu Lab sent us not one AMS system, but two. That means we're gonna be able to load 4 different colors into each AMS. Here, 1 color into the left nozzle there, for a total of 9 different colors that we can print this helmet in. We're really gonna maximize this machine's potential. Now, multicolor printing is nothing new. We've actually been printing out a lot of these little KitCard ships like this TIE Advanced here, but we printed it on the H2C and then compared that to the H2S and H2D, and we saw a big drop in both print time and filament wastage on the H2C.
Quiet.
Oh. And that's where the first step really comes into play. Because we're painting this in Bambu Studio, we actually modified our helmet files a little bit to have all those intricate details recessed so that they're easier to paint. So we made the model changes based off our renders as well as references from Mandalorian Season 3. We also made a few other file adjustments, quality of life things that we added into those files that are available at galacticarmory.net. And after 3 straight days of printing using 5 colors on our H2C printer, we have our Bo-Katan helmet. Now I'd love to end the video there, get my 1,000,000 views and my $42 in ad revenue, but there's just one problem I have, and it's these layer lines. So normally after printing out a helmet or armor like this, we would go about filling in those 3D print lines with either filler primer or Bondo. However, we already have all of our color, and filler primer would cover the whole thing, make it gray. So we're gonna go straight to sanding. Now we're gonna take this thing all the way from 180 grit to 1000 grit in the hope that those colors stay there like they are and come out looking nicely. Now there's no way I'm gonna be getting these sweet baby hands dirty. I have a lot of handsome Squidward files to make. So I'm gonna be passing this helmet off to Jamie and his yuck bucket of doom.
I don't know what the Aaron is talking about. I am not dealing with a yuck bucket. I don't have the time to waste. I am going straight to power tools. That's what this helmet needs. Come on.
The helmet. What's the kid? What? Wow. What's going on?
Okay, so I brought her into the booth, went through 200 grit, all the way up to 400 and even 600, and I have to admit, she's feeling pretty good, nice and smooth. But you may notice she's a wee bit dusty, and that won't do. We can't paint her, that's not part of the fun. I need to polish her all the way up, 800 grit, 1000, and I'm going to finish with something that I think will bring back all of that beautiful color to this filament.
So while Jamie does all the dirty work, I actually realized we didn't max out the Vortex nozzle system with all the 9 different color slots available to us. So I loaded up a Bo-Katan figurine, painted it up, and sent it off to the printer. And the results, I think, really speak for themselves. I absolutely love how this little thing came out. It took around 4 days to fully print 4,600 filament changes and around 800 grams of filament between the statue, the purge tower, and my little box of poop here. But really, that's only like $20, $23 in filament charges. So, do you really want to buy that $200 sideshow figurine or print one yourself?
Yes.
I know you
I
would.
do.
I know you would, Jamie.
And I will continue to.
You have a problem, an addiction even.
So Jamie decided to make this my problem, and so I'm going to go ahead and take this to the buffing wheel. I've got some blue compound on here because he's taking this to about 1,000 grit, so I'm just going to take it a bit further from there. So this is to go even further beyond.
What's he doing?
Okay, so we got the helmet all finished up here, and it's looking really good, actually. They threw in a nice little Hobart face shield for us. They got it all smooth, very reflective, and not a drop of paint on this helmet. Now, I think it passes the 10-foot view of like looking pretty decent from 10 feet away. However, when you get closer, of course, a real artist is going to be able to tell that all of these little weathering details around the helmet, the paint job even, it's all very flat. It's all very one-dimensional. So, looks good from far away, but closer, you know, it could be better. We could probably add some paint, do a weathering pass on this ourselves to improve it even further. But for a helmet with no paint on it, it looks pretty good. Now, does this change our process? No, not really. As artists, we'd love opportunities like this to do multi-level weathering effects, a very intricate paint scheme, and a very cool Mando helmet ourselves. And having the H2C take most of that away was a little bit of a bummer. And, you know, for I think less of a perfect finish than we could get ourselves. However, that's not to say it doesn't have its use cases. If you're unable to paint, say you're doing cosplay in a college dorm room, or you have a health condition where paints don't really work with you, this could be a good option, a good, nice, low barrier, except for the money, to get into cosplay on a full scale like this and look pretty good. The use case that I like it for most is for things like this, nice little statues, throw a bunch of color on there, print the statue out, put it up on a shelf, like in your kitchen or something, and it'll look really good. And to print it all for around $20 in filament as compared to like a $200 sideshow figure, that's pretty good in my book. So, doesn't really affect us too much, but we still might use it for some other things. But what are your thoughts on the H2C? Are you gonna use it for cosplay or statue making or anything else? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video. It's kind of a cosplayer's perspective on some emerging 3D printer technologies and if they're useful or not. If you like that video, the best way to support us is on Patreon. You get a ton of 3D files as well, so check that out at patreon.com/galacticarmory. And if you like my friend back here, get ready. Hey, shut the f up.
Perfect.
And a little bit of ingenuity could change that. Forever.
Toss that high enough.
Am I allowed to swear in this video? Sure. Got it. Is it funnier if I swear?